Hi, my name is Callie Carter, and I'm going to be examining a upper extremity movement of throwing a baseball. So really you could break this down into 5 or 6 phases, but I just simplified it into 4 phases. So we have phase 1, which is the wind up, and there's minimal upper extremity muscle activation with the wind up phase. Phase 2 is caulking. Phase 3 is acceleration, which is the most explosive stage and peak activities of the obliques too. And phase 4 is deceleration. So I'm gonna go through each of those phases and tell you the muscle movements of the shoulder, elbow, wrist, and tell you what muscles are eccentrically or concentrically working. So, actually I'll hold this. First we have the wind-up phase, which is a lot of lower extremity work because you're winding up and it's this. So we have a lot of lower extremity work, but we're just going to be looking at upper extremity. So really it's this. Our elbow and wrist are neutral the whole time. They don't move at all in the wind-up phase. In the shoulder, we have adduction or retraction. As you can see in my back shoulder, when I rotate, I'm retracting back with those muscles in the shoulder. And we have the anterior deltoid and the pec minor working at the shoulder joint to concentrically adduct or retract that shoulder back in the first phase of wind up. Phase 2, we have caulking, which we wind up and we caulk this way with our shoulder to prepare for acceleration phase. So caulking, the shoulder is going to be elevated. We're elevating the shoulder in this movement. Our elbow is also going to be elevated and flexed. Our wrist is going to be neutral because we don't have any wrist movement until we start accelerating and decelerating. So this is the caulking phase. See, our wrist stays neutral. Our elbow is going to be flexed. And our shoulder is going to elevate with that caulking phase. And concentrically, the infraspinatus and teres minor are working to externally rotate the shoulder right here and elevate it as well. Next, we have phase 3, which is acceleration. Again, once I said in the beginning, this is the most explosive stage of a baseball throw. And so shoulder, we have horizontal adduction this way. We have internal rotation because we are internally rotating with our shoulder, and it's going to be this motion right here. Again, horizontal adduction and internal rotation is going to be this. Our elbow starts at flexion, but it's going to start extending this way. So it's flexed and it's going to start extending in the acceleration phase. Our wrist is going to be flexed. And then concentrically, we have the serratus, anterior, and pec minor working to continue the acceleration all the way through and get a lot of force and strength behind that ball, which is going to be released in the deceleration. Which leads me to my next phase, deceleration. With this, the deceleration starts right here, and your muscles start eccentrically working. For our shoulder, we have abduction since we are bringing it in, or protraction. We also have more of internal rotation, acceleration and deceleration. Both have that movement of internal rotation because we are rotating internally towards the midline of our body. Our elbow is going to extend and our wrist is going to pronate to be able to throw this ball. Acceleration, deceleration, we have elbow extending and wrist pronating to be able to release that ball. And eccentrically, our biceps brachii and our brachialis work to decelerate the elbow extension and forearm pronation. So yeah, those are the 4 phases. I'll go over them really quickly. Phase 1, we have the wind up. This way, we have shoulder is adduction, retraction, elbow and wrist are neutral. More of this is abdominal and lower extremity work. Concentrically, we have anterior deltoid and pec minor working at the joint. to adduct or retract that. Phase 2, we have caulking, which is, again, shoulder elevation. The elbow is elevated and flexed, and our wrist is neutral because we have not made any movement with the ball yet. That's in our hand. Concentrically, we have the infraspinatus and teres minor working to externally rotate that arm or the shoulder. Phase 3, we have acceleration, which again, this is the most explosive stage. We have the shoulder is horizontal adducting. We have internal rotation. We're rotating towards the midline of our body. Our elbow starts at flexion, but then it starts to extend. We have wrist flexion. And concentrically, we have the serratus anterior and pec minor working to continue that acceleration all the way through from when it starts right here to when it's right here. And then once we get in phase 4, we decelerate. We have the shoulder abducting or protraction of the shoulder back here, protraction, retraction. We are internally rotating again with that. Our elbow is extending and our wrist is pronating eccentrically because our muscles are working to contract and slow down. We have the biceps brachii and the brachialis working to decelerate the elbow extension and the forearm and wrist pronation. So yeah, those are 4 phases simplified and explained when throwing a baseball, and I hope it all makes sense. Thanks.